I had just returned from a work mission that kept me away from home for 2 weeks. It was an unexpected trip, but necessary. My job often demanded these absences, and my fiancée, Emily, had grown used to it. That evening, I was tired, a little nervous too. The plane landed earlier than expected, and I hadn't told anyone I was coming back. I wanted to surprise her. When I entered the house, everything seemed normal at first glance. But when I pushed open the bedroom door, I was shocked. My best friend, Ryan, was lying on my bed. Not sitting, not nearby, lying down, as if he owned the place. I froze. From the kitchen, I heard Emily humming a pop song, a soft melody, as if nothing strange was happening. Ryan looked startled and sat up abruptly. Emily appeared in the doorway, her smile immediately fading when she saw me. You came back early? I nodded silently. She glanced quickly at Ryan, then back at me. It's just that last night, Ryan stopped by to say hi, and it started raining. So, I told him to stay until morning. I said nothing. I just studied their faces. Emily added, it was cold last night, so he got into the bed. A heavy silence fell. I took a chair and sat facing them. Ryan looked uncomfortable, but not really guilty. Emily kept that nervous little look I knew too well. The one she had when she was hiding something. And you didn't think to call me? I asked calmly. She lowered her eyes, twisting the edge of her apron. It was late, and I didn't want to disturb you. I smiled, a cold smile. Interesting. And the rain, was it really that bad? Emily nodded, but I could see she wasn't convincing. Without a word, I pulled out my phone and called my neighbor, Mark. He answered almost immediately. Mark, did it rain a lot last night? A pause, then his straightforward voice. Just a little rain, 14 minutes, then nothing. I hung up slowly. Emily and Ryan exchanged a quick glance. Maybe he exaggerated, she said weakly. Ryan stood up, saying he had to leave. He gave me a see you later that sounded false. I watched him leave, my heart pounding. Emily returned to the kitchen and started singing again, as if nothing had happened. That attitude, that lightness, was almost insulting. I knew something was wrong. I didn't sleep that night. Images swirled in my head. Ryan on my bed, Emily avoiding my gaze. The rain, brief, but suddenly an excuse. The next morning, Emily was making breakfast as if everything was normal. Want some pancakes? She asked with a big smile. I just stared at her. Emily, why was Ryan on my bed and not on the couch? She shrugged. The couch is too small, and anyway, it was cold. I got up and touched the couch. It was perfectly long enough for him. She kept pouring maple syrup on a stack of pancakes, carefully avoiding the conversation. You know, she said suddenly, you're too suspicious? Ryan has been your friend for 10 years. Exactly, I said through clenched teeth. I discreetly pulled out my phone. While she set the table, I sent Ryan a message. Last night, were you here to see me or to see Emily? No reply. A few minutes later, only this came back. You're imagining things. It sounded like a disguised admission. Emily watched me, curious about what I was writing. I put my phone away. You really want me to believe your story? She burst out laughing. Believe what? That something happened? Her laugh chilled me. I decided to say nothing for now. But deep inside, a plan was forming. I spent the day acting like nothing was wrong, and that evening, while Emily was showering, I sneaked a look at her phone. Passcode changed. She never changed her passcode. A cold fire spread through my chest. I needed proof. In the following days, I waited and watched. Emily was receiving way more messages than usual. She smiled sometimes when reading, then quickly hid her phone. I finally installed a small discreet camera in the living room, another in the bedroom. Not paranoia, but to know. 3 days later, I was supposed to leave for an important meeting in town. But instead of leaving, I parked 2 blocks away, watching the camera notifications on my phone. At 2 p.m., the door opened. Ryan. He looked around, then headed straight to the bedroom. A few seconds later, Emily joined him. They closed the door. Breathless, I stared at the screen. They were laughing, talking softly, way too close, then lying down on the bed. It felt like a knife stab. I didn't move. The screen on my phone became an open window onto my own humiliation. Emily and Ryan were laughing, exchanging knowing looks. She placed her hand on his arm, then on his chest. My heart was pounding so hard I thought it might explode. They spoke quietly, but I caught bits. Do you think he suspects? Emily asked, laughing. Not as long as we're careful, Ryan replied. Careful? That's what they called it. Then, without any flicker of guilt, she lay down against him. I cut the video feed. I'd seen enough. I stayed in my car for another hour, staring into space. Memories flooded back. Our vacations together, Ryan telling me Emily was like a sister to him. What a joke. That evening, when I got home, Emily greeted me with a light kiss, as if she hadn't spent the afternoon in my bed with my best friend. How was your meeting? I forced a smile. Very good. She didn't see anything. She didn't sense that I had changed. That night, I decided I wouldn't confront them just yet. Not yet. I wanted them to pay, but not halfway. I needed a plan. The plan had to be precise, calculated, final. I started by resetting my priorities. I didn't just want to confront them. I wanted to destroy their trust, their little illusion of safety. I waited 3 days. 3 days during which I acted as if nothing was wrong. Emily laughed, cooked, even kissed me. And every time, I wondered if she thought of him when she pressed her lips to mine. I reactivated the cameras, and this time, left them running continuously. On the 4th day, bingo, Ryan returned. Same scenario. Emily welcomed him. They settled in, laughed, kissed. I recorded everything. Every move. Every word. But I didn't stop there. I sent a message to Ryan from an anonymous number. Your car looked nice today in front of MY house. Nice license plate too. No response. But that evening, he seemed tense. I waited another week. Then, on a Friday evening, I invited some mutual friends for a barbecue. Emily suspected nothing. In the middle of the meal, I connected my computer to the TV. I have a little video you all might like to see. The laughter stopped when the screen showed Emily and Ryan in MY bed. The silence was deafening. The guests stared at the screen, unbelieving. Some looked away, others whispered among themselves. Emily, pale, jumped up. Turn it off right now? She shouted. Ryan said nothing. He looked at his shoes as if they could swallow him whole. I stood calmly. No, you two are going to watch. And everyone here too. The video continued. Laughter, kisses, touches. No doubt possible. Emily started crying. Not sincere shame, no. It was fear. Fear that everything was over. Fear of losing the comfort she had. I can explain. Oh yeah? I snapped, smiling coldly. I'm listening. She opened her mouth, but no sound came out. Ryan tried. Dude, it's not what you think. Mocking laughter erupted from some guests. It's exactly what I think, Ryan. And worse. I let them struggle in front of everyone, their excuses drowning in an awkward silence. Then I said, you took what I treasured most. Now, I'm going to take what you cherish most. I left, leaving them exposed, humiliated. But that was only the beginning. After that night, Emily tried to talk to me. Messages, calls, letters. I didn't respond. I had already scheduled a meeting with a lawyer. Meanwhile, I cut all joint bank cards. The savings account? Emptied. The car she used? Sold. Ryan had his own problems. His girlfriend, yes, he had one, received the video too. She dumped him immediately, calling him a coward. I wanted them to feel what I had felt. That emptiness. That mix of anger and betrayal. One evening, Emily knocked on my door. I love you. You mean more than anything. It was a mistake. I looked her straight in the eyes. No, Emily. A mistake is forgetting to buy milk. You made a choice. She collapsed in tears. But I didn't give in. In the following days, she had to leave the house. Her belongings, piled in boxes, waited outside. Ryan? No contact whatsoever. But the best part was knowing they weren't even together anymore. After destroying everything, they had nothing left. Weeks passed. I expected to feel relieved, but instead, there was emptiness. I went out more, saw other friends, but every time I passed a couple laughing together, a sting of bitterness pierced me. Emily moved into a small, shabby apartment. I heard she was doing odd jobs. Ryan lost many contracts because of rumors about him. One night, Mark, my neighbor, joined me at the bar. Heard? Emily and Ryan hate each other now. I didn't answer. It brought me no joy, just confirmation their alliance was an illusion. Do you regret it? He asked. I looked at him and said, no, what I regret is trusting them. He nodded. On my way home, I passed the spot where I parked my car the day I found out the truth. Everything came back. The pain, the rage, and the choice I'd made. A choice that cost me dearly, but saved me. Trust, once broken, never comes back. Months flew by. I had returned to a normal routine, but there was always that small invisible scar. One morning, I I received an unexpected email. It was Ryan. I know I don't deserve your forgiveness, but know that I've lost everything that mattered to me. I didn't reply. Later that day, Emily sent me a similar message, as if, after all this time, they were trying to lighten their conscience. I wondered if I'd grown cold, or simply clear-headed. The truth is, I wanted nothing more to do with them. I began traveling, meeting new people. One evening in London, I met a woman who reminded me of Emily, but with an honest, sincere gaze. I smiled, telling myself life could always offer a second chance, but never with the same people. I had understood something. Betrayals don't just define those who commit them, they also redefine those who endure them. And I had decided to redefine myself. Time had done its work. The anger faded, replaced by cold clarity. One day, I received an invitation to a wedding. Not mine, an old mutual friend's, with Ryan. I hesitated, then decided to go. When I entered the hall, I saw him. Ryan. Thinner, older, eyes avoiding mine. He tried to greet me. "Hey, Ryan." I cut him off. "You have nothing to say that I want to hear." He nodded, ashamed. Emily wasn't there. Later, I heard she had left town. Returning home, I thought about it all. How one night, one decision, changed the course of my life. And I smiled. Not a wicked joy, just the satisfaction of having survived what could have broken me. Because, ultimately, it's not the betrayal that defined me, but how I responded to it. Today, I tell this story not to reopen wounds, but to remind a simple truth. Traitors always reveal themselves. Sometimes slowly, sometimes brutally, but always. Emily and Ryan thought they could play with my trust as if it were endless. They were wrong. I don't hate them anymore. Hate is heavy to carry, but I will never forgive them. I rebuilt my life, far from them. A life where I choose who is allowed in, and especially who is allowed to stay. And if you ever find yourself in a similar situation, remember, sometimes the best revenge isn't to shout, hit, or destroy. It's simply to close the door and keep living. Because in the end, they will destroy themselves. And you'll already be far away.